Welcome back to this E! News special. I'm Juliana Rancic. For over 20 years, Charlie Sheen has been known as Hollywood's bad boy. He's been accused of everything from abuse to hiring prostitutes to even shooting his former fiancée in the arm. And yet somehow he's remained seemingly unaffected. Kat Sadler takes a look back at his troubled past.
Charlie Sheen's troubles with addictions are not new. In fact, it all dates back 20 years to the summer of 1990 when Charlie Sheen did his first stint in rehab for alcohol addiction. His engagement to Kelly Preston would end later that year amidst reports he had accidentally shot her in the arm. Although the injuries were non-life-threatening, the relationship between Kelly and Charlie couldn't be repaired. 1995, the actor admitted to forking over tens of thousands of cash for prostitutes when he testified at Madam Heidi Fleiss's trial, a habit he hasn't been ashamed of.
He was an excellent customer. It was a pleasure to do business with him. He is engaging, he's charming, he tipped. I was always happy to send girls to him. Who cares? He wants to pay for girls.
A year later, Sheen's busted for assaulting his then adult film star girlfriend Brittany Ashland. The following year, he pleaded no contest to the charge of one-count misdemeanor battery. The actor was sentenced to 2 years probation. May 1998, Charlie enters rehab for a second time after being hospitalized for a near-fatal overdose. He checked out almost immediately and then checked right back in.
Charlie's father, Martin Sheen, publicly acknowledged that Charlie had a serious problem. While Charlie was in the hospital, in walks Martin Sheen, and he's basically fighting back tears, says his son almost died, he needs help, and he's going to do everything he can to get him clean.
We are in the stages right now of recovery. It is my hope that he will accept recovery and become free.
In 2005, second wife Denise Richards filed for divorce from Charlie in what would be one of the nastiest splits in Hollywood history. She later claimed in court docs that Charlie threatened her with violence and suffered from addictions to both gambling and prostitutes. Denise sought a protective order from Charlie, and the actor was mandated to stay 300 yards away from his ex-wife. And after their union ended, came the incident which could be seen as the one that took Charlie's troubles to a new level, an altercation in the posh resort town Aspen, Colorado on Christmas Day 2009 with third wife Brooke Mueller.
You have a domestic disturbance? Tell me exactly what happened.
My husband had me with a knife, and I'm scared for my life, and he threatened me. I thought I was going to die for 1 hour.
Okay, what's your name?
Brooke.
And what's your husband's name?
It's Charlie Sheen.
The arresting officer is granted only one interview about what happened that night. E! News chief correspondent Ken Baker sat with Officer Valerie McFarlane, who first responded on that fateful night.
It was Christmas morning, and then to hear a man wielding a knife, it frightened me. I got to the door, Mrs. Sheen was crying uncontrollably. She said that they had gotten into an argument. She wanted a divorce and she was taking the kids. So he flew into a rage. She said that he held a knife to her neck. He had her straddled on the bed and he threatened to kill her.
In the police report, you say that Brooke told you, "I was terrified and felt for the first time in my life I was going to die."
Yeah, she did say that.
Sheen's attorney, Yale Galanter, responded.
It's not what Valerie said, it's what Valerie didn't say.
Have you seen the evidence photos that Valerie took of Brooke's body?
We've seen everything.
Did you see strangulation marks or what appeared to be strangulation marks?
Absolutely not.
Did you see marks on her wrists that looked like she'd been
Absolutely
held?
not. Absolutely not.
So
Listen,
Valerie says she did. You're saying
the-
Valerie's lying?
Brooke certainly disputes what former Officer McFarland's statements were.
She started to backtrack later in the day on
Correct.
her story.
She just wanted to take it all back at that time, and she was just afraid that this is going to ruin him.
Valerie's attorney, Gloria Allred, wasn't so quick to let Charlie off the hook.
This is not the first time that Mr. Sheen has been convicted of a crime involving violence. I previously represented Brittany Ashland when she was a victim in the criminal case in which he was prosecuted. She alleged that she suffered substantial physical injuries. Mr. Sheen pled no contest.
But in the Brooke Mueller case, Charlie pleaded guilty to misdemeanor assault.
Is that an admission that he did get physical with Brooke that morning? Did he put his hands on her neck? Were those strangulation marks? all these things that, if true, are despicable, you'd have to agree.
None of that is misdemeanor battery. Misdemeanor battery is as simple as me touching you against your will.
Since the Aspen incident, Charlie struck a plea deal and avoided jail time, and instead went for round 4 of rehab.
Brooke felt that whatever happened between her and Charlie was private. It was a great resolution for everybody.
Charlie and Brooke's marriage ended in divorce last November and will become final later this year.
Coming up, the revolving door of rehab continued to turn for Charlie when he sought treatment right at his own house. But can he really be cured from in-home rehab? We talked to the experts about the star's future when Charlie Sheen, The Party Never Stops, continues. Welcome back. On January 27, 2011, Charlie Sheen was taken out of his home on a stretcher and rushed to Cedars-Sinai Hospital by ambulance after a 36-hour binge with adult film stars at his Hollywood Hills home. The actor has once again sought treatment, but questions still remain. Will Charlie ever really change his dangerous ways? And what does the future hold? We're taking an inside look. Wild late-night parties, a Plaza Hotel rampage, domestic violence charges, trips to the ER, rehab. There's no denying Charlie Sheen is in the midst of an outrageous year, and his reckless behavior has left family, friends, and fans concerned.
As bad as things have gotten for Charlie Sheen, the fact is he hasn't hit rock bottom. Rock bottom will be when he cannot function anymore, when he can't get himself physically to work and do his job. And so far, that hasn't happened.
Sheen has battled addiction for years. He's repeatedly sought treatment, but his demons always return. This time, the actor is trying to get help right at his Hollywood Hills mansion, the very same location of his most recent binge.
He's at home. He's getting treatment at his house. A lot of people look at this rehab with a very skeptical eye.
Usually, home rehab is a choice that's left after the person has refused all the other options.
Though in rehab, Charlie is not in complete seclusion. He sent text messages and statements to the media from behind closed doors. Such open access to the outside world could harm the effectiveness of the program.
We may negotiate with them before they come in to limit their access to email or to limit their access to texting, really for their own protection.
While the star focuses on his health, production of his CBS hit 2.5 Men has been halted, leaving hundreds of staff members temporarily out of work. But producers remain hopeful and continue to show their support for Charlie, as they always have, even through his domestic violence drama.
We employ a lot of people, and Charlie, without him, there is no show.
Sheen's rep tells E! News CBS executives expect Charlie to be back on his feet and back to work within weeks. But this is a script we've seen before. The question now for Charlie Sheen, will this episode result in a Hollywood ending or heartbreak? Well, we certainly hope the best for Charlie. Be sure to watch E! News for more on this developing story. I'm Juliana Rancic. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.